like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. You like to. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. You like to move it.
Hi everybody.
I like to move it.
I'm very happy to introduce you to Virginie FAUVEL, Laurent FRISCH, and Frederic ROUZAUD. We're going to speak about how mature companies address disruption.
You like to move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it.
So we have on stage Virginie, Laurent, and Frederic. The topic is clearly how mature companies address disruption. My first question is for you, Virginie. You had the digital challenge for Allianz. Do you really feel that your company has to pivot, and why?
Good afternoon, everybody. Yes, I think for insurance, it's absolutely key to transform the company through digitalization. Insurance has been protected of all the transformation during the past year, and today we have 3 mega trends. The first one is Internet of Things. When you can monitor the way people drive their car with dongle inside a car, if you can monitor how there is a fire inside a house, etc., Internet of Things, first mega trend. The second one is big data. Insurer wants to predict the risk, and of course, big data is absolutely key for them. And the third one is sharing economy. Paulin de Montaut was there previously in the afternoon, and
Paulin is the head of Drivey.
And we are the partnership for Drivey, the insurer for Drivey, for France, for Spain, and for Germany. And for us, it's really important to know how to insure a car which is not driven by the owner, how to insure a house that is not only used by the owner. It's very important for us. So Internet of Things, big data, and sharing economy.
Okay. And looks like it's also a subject on which VCs are also investing. Laurent, you had the digital challenge for Radio France. I mean, what drives the change of Radio France, and what is at stake?
Hi everyone. Well, I assume that everyone knows Radio France, at least French people, and not tired French people here. Radio France is a public radio network, 50 radio channels. We have like 25 million persons listening to us each month, so that's a lot. But actually, our challenge is pretty easy. It's to survive. Why that? Just look at that screen. Well, that's me. That's not the interesting part of it. Actually, it's a TV channel, and it's very low cost to produce. It's very cheap to produce. It's the same for radio. It's very cheap to produce. And now kind of everyone can produce content, can produce a radio channel, so that now we have a lot of competition going on over the internet. That's first. The second one, now people all have a smartphone in their pocket, like this one. 85% of the French population is connected each day. Well, that's nice, but the thing is, when they are on this instead of a traditional radio, well, we're in competition with millions of offers. So we're in danger.
Looks like there's disruption and a kind of survival risk for both of your companies. Let's move to you, Frederic. You are the CEO and owner of Roederer, a champagne brand that most of you must know, I guess. I mean, what is at stake for you? Digital, champagne?
Well, good afternoon, everyone. It was very interesting for me to come this afternoon because we are in the middle of the harvest, today. So how a company like us, who has been created more than 230 years ago, be impacted by the digital? That's a very interesting thing because my family has always been here for the long term. We have to wait 20 years before the vineyard starts to produce the best grapes. We have to age our stocks 10 years in our cellars before it starts to be good. So how digital impacts our type of company? And in fact, it impacted a lot, very much, everywhere in the company.
Can you give examples?
From the production, for instance, the traceability of our bottles. We have launched 5 years ago a code, a kind of a passport for each bottle, which contains all the life of the bottle, for the terroir that it comes from, the cork that is used for this bottle, the life of the bottle on the market, and you can click with our iPhone application on the bottle everywhere in the world where you are and see the identity of the bottle, the blend, etc., etc.
You mean that the champagne bottles is a connected object?
Yes, absolutely. So that's the production impact. But distribution-wise, it has changed also very much the distribution, because everywhere in the world where you are, you can go on Wine Searcher and see the price of the Louis Roederer champagne everywhere in the world. So you can, the impact of the coherence of the price is very important, because if the price is 50% below in England than in France, we will have some problem. And last point, much important also, is on the communication side, because we have Facebook, Instagram tomorrow, or today already, because Facebook, I heard it's over now. I don't know why, but and Twitter, etc. All these tools that allow us now to communicate directly with the consumer, and that's something that is very new and, of course, very important, and it's a big opportunity for us.
And so now the question is, how do you move? How do you move your mature companies? And I guess, Virginie, can you give us examples of the first actions you took when you arrived, and how you make it change?
The first action was for employees. I opened all the social network on the workstation, and I give internet to all the employees. It's really simple, but it was a very strong action. Digital is not only for customers, it's also for you, for your daily life. So open internet and social media.
Same question for Laurent. Can you give us an example of something you made and was a small or big change in your company?
Wow. Anyway, it's very difficult. We're a big company, almost 5,000 people. So change is very slow, too slow, according to me. But the good news for me is that the people inside the company, they want to change. So how to do that? We have built a lot of projects and involving different skills, different people from different entities, and working together. Because one of the most challenging part of it is working the way a startup work, except we're 5,000 people. So we need to build very, very little, very small teams with different skills, and have them work whatever the organization is.
Do you have an example of a project that went through this kind of internal?
Yes, I have many examples. One of them is that building a website for one of the radio channels. It sounds basic, but actually it's not. Because if you want to succeed in it, then you have to work with journalists, you have to work from people from the radio. Well, their day is to wake up early, to talk on the radio, and then to go to bed at noon. Well, special kind of day they have. But we need to work with them, we need to understand what their life is, and we need to build tools for them, we need to build some great news for their content, for what they produce every day.
I think because I am also in a traditional company, let's say that. And I think to transform the company, you have to give fun. You have to give happiness to the employees, because digitalization could scare a little bit the employees. And I think our job is to make fun in the company.
And with the champagne bottle, we discussed a lot about time and the pace of digital, which is like this, and 10 or 20 years. How do you deal with this different time frame?
We are lucky enough to have time in our world. The luxury in our wine world is time, again, because we need time to make good champagne, good wine. What we will never replace is something, an application that allows us to drink a bottle of champagne. We will always have to drink a bottle anyway. So we are comfortable with that. I think the strategy, if we have a strategy or a plan on a digital, is not to be in a hurry, but to try to be as original, as unique as we are with our wine. That's because, you can make a lot of mistakes on digital, on Twitter, Facebook, etc. What is the strategy? What do you want? What do we want to communicate to our customers? So we have to the brand content. We always talk about brand content today. Has to be very creative, very coherent with the image of Louis Roederer, which has been created again a long time ago.
And how do you maintain yourself and your directors at the level of understanding of what's going on in the digital space? I mean, it's two different spaces.
I am totally allergic to digital, personally. I still have a classic agenda because I don't have any time to be on Instagram, etc. I don't know how people have time to that. I don't have. So I'm a little bit allergic, which is a little bit surprising coming to this afternoon here. But I know very well that it's so important for even a company like us. On the long term, we have to be brilliant also on that part.
And maybe Laurent, I mean, you have to deal with other employees or maybe directors that have the similar kind of digital allergy, if I may. How do you deal with this kind of profile?
Older is not the issue, actually, because I know young people that are allergic to digital as well. But the thing is, you have to talk a lot with them, and that takes time. You have to talk, you have to prove it, you have to prove it's important for them. But most of the time, I'm not the most efficient to do that, because the older people, they have children, they have friends, etc. And everyone is using the digital. Everyone has a smartphone, everyone is listening to radio or to podcasts through their smartphones or through their tablets or through their computers. So, well, they see the world as it is. So it's not that hard, actually.
And Virginie, I mean, we discussed about this HR topic. I mean, how do you attract the new talents you need to address the digital challenge? And how do you make them work with the usual historical employee?
It's a very important question because when you are a traditional company, you have to get something else that you don't have like startups. So we try to build open space with nice place. We try to develop interaction with them, to protect them a little bit, but also to put them in the core of the company. The digitalization in Allianz is not a side. Is it really in the middle of the company, and they have real power? For example, the digital is at the executive committee level, meaning it's not just some geeks that deal with that. It's each Thursday we talked about digitalization. And I think it's really important to attract people and say, in Allianz, you will have a chance to transform the company. And
you're at executive level.
Yes.
Are you able to clearly address the digital challenge and be heard by the other executive members? Do they really understand the challenge?
Of course. First of all, because our CEO is really convinced about that. And what is more, it's really the strategy of Allianz to transform the company through the digitalization. And each day they have to listen to me. Oh.
Yeah, that's really a thing. Is your CEO on Twitter?
Yes,
that's a good
course.
Sign.
Of course.
Does he tweet?
Yes, he tweets by himself.
Very good.
Maybe you have a lot of entrepreneurs around here. Do you have like a specific startup you're looking for, a specific partner or message for entrepreneurs?
Just to say that I admire them a lot. And I feel it's very important in France to have you here. And if you can stay in France, it will be really great.
And do you work with startups?
Of course, we have an accelerator in the south of Nice. We try to help them to grow. We give them our network to have new partnership. And we work also with many startups or digital company because they are quicker, they are sometimes cheaper, and they are more efficient on digitalization. So yes, you are welcome to work with us in Allianz.
And maybe on your side, I mean, remember me the age of your company. You said it before, but more like the age of the US. How do you compare yourself with companies that are 3 or 5 years old?
At least I can supply them if they want to celebrate the creation of their startup. I'm here to, if they want. No, we are working a lot with startups, especially on trying to create brain content, video, film, photo, etc. That's a lot part of the digital strategy, and we plan to train someone inside the company to be behind that, because we are a small company. You know, we are not the big champagne company. We are small, so we have a small team, and but we like to work with startup on that part of the communication and distribution.
And Laurent, on your side.
Yeah, we're not a very innovative company, technologically speaking. We have only few engineers, so we rely on innovators outside. So please, startups, come and see us. I have built a pool for innovation this summer, which role is to scout for good technologies and good startups. The thing is, when you come and visit us, don't lose time explaining why we need you or what is our problems. Just explain us why you are good and why you have good technologies. This is what we need.
And being here, are there any key learnings you have going around and seeing these companies? Do you think that you could take some good ideas of the entrepreneurs around here for your day-to-day business? Maybe.
Yes, of course. The energy, first of all, there is a lot of energy and a very interesting spirit. So for me, it's really important, because I will go back to the office with energy and the willing to do and transform faster Allianz. And then for precise things, it's perhaps confidential.
Any ideas or nothing specific?
There are so much to do within the media field, so just innovate.
Okay. Let's thank them a lot for this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.